Hello, Ngozika, and welcome to Hera TV. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Ngozika Onyekwelu. I was born and educated in the UK. I was in the civil service for a while. I was working for the Ministry of Education, then in the Ministry of Justice. And in 2007, I decided to come back to Zambia and try and do what I can here. Although when I moved back, I didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time. But I was happy that I moved back. I'm now the MD and founder of the Bright Future Project, which is a waste management and recycling company. It's the first female Black-owned waste management and recycling company in the region. So
Yes.
I'm chuffed with that. Yes, that's where I am. I'm also the Zambian representative for the Africa Circular Economy Network, as well as a member of the Commonwealth Women's Business Network as well.
Okay, could you explain to us, that sounds quite interesting. Could you explain to our audience what exactly that is?
The African...
and what the bodies actually, the roles of the bodies?
Okay, so the Africa Circular Economy Network is an NGO which is sponsored by the EU. And yes. It's basically a premise that the circular economy is the way forward basically for developing countries. Why should we put pressure on our natural resources when we already have resources at hand, such as solar, hydro, and wind, and in my case, waste? So that's why part of our business model will also have education, because you have to teach people, especially in Africa, that waste is a resource. So the Africa Circular Economy Network is promoting people like myself and other individuals around Africa. They are in 28 countries currently. And there are a lot of wonderful businesses full of innovation that people are actually doing in Africa with waste. So for me, I'll give you an example.
Yes.
So this plastic bottle has 3 waste types in it, has 3 plastic types.
Yes.
You have the lid, you have your actual bottle, and you have your vinyl. All 3 of these plastics are recycled in different ways. So as far as I'm concerned, those are 3 potential industries. So that is what the beauty of recycling is, and waste. And that's where you get your circularity, because we can keep on recycling this plastic bottle for another 7, 8 times. So again, why should we put pressure on our natural resources when we already have resources at hand? So what I want to do is actually establish an industrialized recycling plant that can cater for the region, and of course also have decentralized recycling plants throughout Zambia, so that we can start creating new green sustainable industries through recycling. The Commonwealth Business Network the Commonwealth member states, and they have come together with an empowerment program for women.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so their headquarters are in the UK, and they actually reached out to me last year. I think they saw one of my posts on LinkedIn. We are trying, a lot of my staff, I've got 85% female staff. And
Wow.
I
Wow.
think that is what attracted them to me, because as I said, they're focusing on empowering women globally through sustainable projects such as myself.
Yes.
Currently, I am just an ambassador for them, but hopefully once I'm more established, I will play a more, should I say, a more important role maybe
Yes.
within the community, where I too can actually reach out to other women through them,
Yes.
and using their platform actually to try and promote other women as well.
Yes. That sounds fantastic because I think in Africa, the role of women is evolving because for a long time, as history would have it, history of women is in the home and then the background there to rear children, and you are setting a trend in the 21st century. So how have things changed in Zambia for women?
In Zambia, for women, there is a slow, very, very slow evolution. We're still fighting against a lot of cultural issues, a lot of traditional issues. So you'll
Yes.
find that women have actually been disenfranchised, and
Wow.
because of these cultural and traditional issues that tend to creep up. We are now getting more women who are globalized.
Yes.
A lot of people have access to TV, to cable. People have access to the internet. So with the exposure, people are now starting to see what is happening globally and are starting to learn. And from there, you can see women starting to establish a lot of SMEs, especially within the beauty industry, the hair industry, and the clothing industry as well. So slowly but surely we're getting there, but we're not as evolved as, should I say, West Africa. I'm half Nigerian myself,
Oh
so
wow.
I can compare the two and clearly say that there is an ocean of difference.
Yes, yes,
We're getting there slowly but surely.
yes. So, with the recycling, what really made you, as a woman, think of getting into recycling?
It's always actually been a passion. It's always been there. I just never did anything about it. For me, whether I was male or female, I don't think it counted. I think it's the passion really that one has for it. I realized that there was a huge gap in the industry in Zambia. In Zambia, waste management is basically your waste being collected and taken to the city landfill. But now, with climate change and everything going on around us, we need to seriously start to move away from landfill practices. And
Yes,
for waste management and recycling, it's still such a niche here. It's like a
yes,
blank canvas. So I feel like an artist. I can create this beautiful picture and start creating these systems that never existed before. So that's really what's getting me excited. The fact that, of course, there are bigger and better and more established companies than myself. But we have created traction more so than the more established companies. And I think that's because we are talking about the environment, we are talking about climate change, we are talking about the links between bad waste disposal and climate change, and so on and so forth. And we are answering questions that people couldn't answer before. And we're offering a service again that people never
yes,
before. So I'll give you an example of two of our prospective clients. We currently have Nestle, who would like
yes,
us to set up a waste management system for their distributors. And each distributor handles a different packaging type. So one handles their aluminium, the other the paper and cardboard, and the other their plastics. And of course, this is a challenge because how does one collect Nestle packaging once it's been post-consumer stage, you see? So as much as it is a challenge, it's also, should I say, very exciting for me, because now you have to start bringing in innovation. You have to start thinking out of the box. You have to use lateral thinking. And, those are all things that get me excited. Our second client is Lake Tanganyika Harbor, of which I'll be
Yes.
traveling to next week. And of course, globally, everybody knows Lake Tanganyika. They reached out actually before the COVID issue, and they have a huge problem with plastics in the lake, which will
Yes.
have an impact on their tourism even before COVID. So they've engaged myself and my team to see how we can help them with this issue of plastics in the lakes.
Yeah.
So, as I said, so this is an example of the traction that we've created, bearing in mind that there already are bigger and better established companies. So, as small as we are, I feel as though we're taking giant steps into the right direction, especially for women, because everywhere I go,
Yes.
people, I'm known as the waste lady, and women want to work, basically. We have a whole workforce.
Yes. We've always been that way. We've always worked. Yes. I think I watched a video the other day that women work all the time. When we're giving birth, we're working. When we're cleaning the house and all
After
sorts
the
of
whole,
things,
they're
we're always
working.
working. But society does not see it that we're working when we are. So that's absolutely correct. We love working.
Of course.
Yes, you may continue.
I hope I've answered that question. I would like
Yes.
to tell you more about the Bright Future project.
Yes,
Um,
yes, I saw that.
the concept came to me in 2014.
Okay.
I suffer from lupus, and I had quite a bad attack in November 2014.
I'm
And
sorry to hear that.
at the Royal Free in London for 6 to 7 weeks. Um,
Wow.
I actually went blind.
Oh,
The lupus made me go blind, and so I was lying in a hospital bed for so long. And in order to keep myself sane, I didn't want to fall into a depression. So I
yes,
started thinking about the future. And they kept on telling me every day that I was never going to get my sight back and that
yes,
I was blind. So in order for me, as I said, to keep sane, I started thinking about the future and what I would really love to do once I'm out of this hospital bed. And I started thinking about the concept of the Bright Future Project, and it evolved. And
yes,
at the end of 2016, December 2016, we registered as a company limited by shares, but we actually started our activities on the 2nd of March 2020. We
mhm,
started with, we collect separated waste from households. So on
yes.
our first day, we had 3 clients, 3 households, $30 for fuel, and a tiny little truck that leaned to one side. Today, we have 61 private households, 3 shopping malls, a business park,
Wow,
a
wow.
school, and then we also have the consultancy side as well. So in a short space of time, we have evolved quite rapidly. I
That's
have been
absolutely
funding the
amazing.
project myself since
Yes,
we started. Um, I realized that if I spent too much time looking for the big fish, I might just lose my sense of direction. So I thought, let me start with the little I have, and slowly but surely, it will evolve on its own. Simply because
yes,
it's easier to show people something that they can see and touch, rather than giving them a business plan or lovely stories about what you'd like to do. So that is how I started. Of course, I do have a lovely team, a really wonderful group of people who have gravitated to the project themselves through LinkedIn without me having to solicit anybody.
Yes.
All such wonderful people, and they're all professionals. I have people who are working on business models and everything
Wow.
I need for there to be a wonderful corporate structure and for us to move forward. I would like to be an African company that has solutions for African problems, but I also
Yeah.
want to be an African company that can be a force to reckon with on the international platform. And that's simply because, you know, a lot of African companies are discounted. You don't hear about them.
Yes.
That's not that many. And I would like to be able to at least be a role model and be able to motivate others, not just women, you know, um, everybody who's living in Africa, everybody living in
Yes.
countries. It's important for people to realize that you can achieve your goals with the little that you have. And once
Yes.
you create the right synergies, meet the right people, the world's your oyster. Persistence is the best. I'm
Yes.
extremely stubborn, so I think really that's what's helped me as well. So
Yes.
I'll go back to the actual Bright Future project. So as
Yes.
I said, I've been funding it myself up until this point. I have a site which is 5 hectares, and I
Wow.
want to start putting infrastructure on that site. I want it to
Yes.
be an educational site, so we are planting a miniature forest there.
Wow.
Also because Zambia's got one of the highest levels globally of deforestation. So as I said, I want it to be an educational site. I want my clients, the community and schools to be able to come and see what happens to their waste, for them to learn about trees, maybe plant a tree as well, and inspire and educate others. So we will begin by recycling 3 waste types.
Yes.
Organic waste, which will be converted to compost, and after 12 months, we're looking at biogas. Glass, so we're going to be reshattering the glass back into sand, and
Wow.
we will be making hand-painted glass tiles with African prints and African colors.
Oh,
And
wow. That sounds lovely.
I'm looking more to export on this, as well as um, plates, cups. I was thinking along the Whitters of Chelsea kind of um, range as well, but
Yes.
with African prints and African colors. Our plastics are going to be shredded, molded into fencing posts, chairs and tables, as well as monkey gyms. One of the visions, of course, is playgrounds made completely from recycled material.
Oh, wow. That sounds absolutely nice. It's like you don't really think that with recycling you can make and reinvent such amazing products, from the cutlery we use cups and saucers, to even a playground. It sounds fantastic.
Thank you, thank you. So we have, of course, we need to make whatever we're doing wholesome and all-inclusive. Our
Yes.
demographics, as I said, are mainly low-income households, little to no education. So we have to be able to embrace everybody, because waste affects everybody. So
Yes,
of
it
course,
does.
for the shanty towns and for the rural areas, we go in, we also have 8 workshops.
Yes. Wow.
That
You're creating jobs as well.
Yes, so 8 workshops that can be adapted for primary school, secondary school, municipalities, and organizations. And
Yes.
The topics range, of course, from waste management, recycling, the circular economy, waste to energy, legalities of waste, and so on and so forth. So we teach people the basics, of course, without patronizing people. We have to
Yes.
start at the beginning. Why is it important to dispose of your waste correctly?
Yes.
Show them the links between bad waste disposal and epidemics such as typhoid
Yes.
and cholera, which are a norm here every rainy season like now. Now we
Right.
even have COVID. And then we say, hey, but do you know that this plastic bottle can be recycled into something else? And of course, a lot of people don't know that. And that's when you see the excitement in people's faces when they realize that every single bit of plastic, paper, and glass on the floor has a monetary figure attached to it.
Wow.
Once we've installed the education, we now give them practical lessons on how to recycle without using technology. So again, we go back to our three waste types, which are organic waste, plastics, and glass. And
Yes.
everything that they'll be producing will be helping them either find markets or create a market for them. So what is going to happen is that firstly, they understand their waste, they take ownership of their waste, they're able
Yes.
to separate their own waste, they're
Yes.
able to process their own waste, and they're able to sell their own waste. So it's a 5-step program. And of course, we'll monitor it for a few months. And then once we
Yes.
see that, of course, they're up and running, they're able to do, to follow the initiative and the program, well, we will then leave them to their own devices. So for a lot of the community projects and rural projects, of course, we have to partner with others who are going to help to fund them, seeing
Yes.
as we're still a startup. So you find that a lot of the resorts around these areas are actually the ones who've been reaching out. Zambia is very rich in game life, in game parks. We have beautiful wildlife. We have beautiful World Heritage sites. Of course, we have, I think, about 26 waterfalls, including the Victoria Falls. And I should
Yes.
say, there are other waterfalls which are just as spectacular as the Victoria.
Yeah, selling it to us here. And
So,
they have very beautiful women, as we're in a women's platform.
of
Um,
course.
we have to sell our women. Yes. So, what message would you give to women, especially to young girls, in relation to your own experiences and your own journey? Of maybe let's pick 3 things that you would do differently.
I don't think I'll do anything differently. I think every single experience that I've had in life has made me the person that I am today. I think you have to take the good with the bad, as
Yes.
painful as it is. And there's so much pain out there, there's so much hurt, and there's so much confusion.
Yes.
And there are times we look for help and compassion and love to the people who we think will give it to us. But
Yes.
sometimes it's a miscalculation, and sometimes you may feel rejected. I have been through hell and back in my 42 years on this planet, but I am so grateful for every single day of it. So all I can say is please persist. Please persist. Life will throw so many different spanners at you, but you just have to take it. The more spanners that come, the harder and the more resilient that you come. No matter how big your idea is, don't be frightened of it. Don't be frightened of your vision. Yes, we are big people. We have big minds, so we are supposed to have big visions. Never
Yeah.
be frightened of whatever goal that you want to achieve, because everything is achievable. I started, as I said, with $30, and the business has at least been self-sustaining to some certain extent. And of course, when planning a business, always put sustainability at the top, because
Yes.
then you'll be able to streamline and see where you can save money, where you don't need to overspend, where certain things can regenerate. I'll give you an example. Of course, to collect waste, I need a truck. So what do I do in order not to spend too much money on fuel? What do I do to reduce my carbon footprint? So I have a little machine called a paralysis machine, which
Yes.
converts PET into diesel. So that is my fuel question answered.
Wow.
So anything that can facilitate your vision, no matter how rudimentary it is, by the way,
Yes.
always go for it.
Yes.
Never give up, and always reach out to people as well, because you
You're
never can.
very, very inspiring, and I'm sure you've inspired a lot of women out there, and men, and young boys and girls. Um, if people want to get in touch with you or get involved in your project, how can they reach you?
They can reach me on my WhatsApp, which is plus 26096422170, or my email, which is info.thebrightfutureproject@gmail.com. And I'm always available. And
Like you were for this interview. So
yeah,
we,
so
yes.
yes. So if anyone does want to reach out, please feel free. I love hearing people's ideas as well. So yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much. And we look forward to probably catching up with you in the near future and seeing where you are at. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye
Bye.
bye.